Do you want to have more balance in your life? Do you want to lead a balanced life? This video is specifically for you. My name is Tatiana with Thrive Life Coaching, and I want to help every woman to have a more balanced life. In this video, I will talk about the biggest misconceptions that hold us back when trying to create a balanced life. And I've developed a 3 easy steps approach to build the balanced life that you really want. Let's dive in. The first thing I want to address is let's start by talking about what is balance. Balance is an idea of equal distribution of something. And as a busy working mom with kids and family, it becomes almost impossible to achieve that balance and the equal distribution of everything that we have going on in our life. So this leads me to my point that having balance per the actual definition of balance is really unattainable. Instead, I want you to think about balance as it applies to your own life and to create your own definition for what balance represents for you. And so I will guide you through 3 steps that can help you achieve this. Step 1, ask yourself, what is the makeup of my life? On the screen, I'm displaying a diagram that I put together as a sample. At the center is you, right? But you, it's not just you. When you have family, kids, work, household, and yourself, and all these other responsibilities, the idea of you stretches out to so many components. And to keep them all in balance is not an easy task. So for this exercise, I would like to ask you to really think through what is the makeup of your life? What represents you? For my diagram and for my circle, as you see, I have self-care. That is a direct relationship to me, that represents me. Then there is a spouse, then there are kids, then there is household, then there is work, my job, your job. Then there are social connections, community, your friends, your circle. That's kind of the big 6 buckets I have defined for this example. You might have more of them, you might have less. The goal of this exercise is to truly understand what represents the makeup of your life before we start understanding how to achieve the balance in your life. And I want to talk a little bit more about this makeup of your life. You have figured out your own diagram, your own makeup of your life. Ask yourself, what does balance represent to me? All of the things that you have listed, in order for you to truly manage your life well across all of these priorities, ask yourself, how would I have a balance? And let me walk you through my example. Self-care is number one for me. It's non-negotiable. And what does self-care represent for me? In my world, self-care is getting daily exercise, eating healthy, and getting enough sleep. Those 3 things are daily non-negotiable that I need to thrive in life. And that's something it took me, years to get there. After I realized that ability to meet our own needs will help us thrive in all other aspects of life, because it's like we are charging our own daily battery. And the reason I want to emphasize that is many times we as women, we prioritize everything else, and many times it could be our job. It's so important that we don't have time for everything else, including ourselves. So again, as you think about your own balance, ask yourself, what does my self-care mean to me, and how much of it do I really need? And it might be something else for you. And then you have your job. Well, having my job is important and I need it for many different reasons. But what is the adequate number of hours that I work? In today's culture, women and men both, but women work so much. 10-hour days, 12-hour days. Is that reasonable? Does that help you thrive? Or would you be like, hey, I would like to work, my normal 8-hour day or maybe 10-hour day, depending on how complex your job is. The next step is, well, there are my kids. I want to spend more time with my kids. Would 30 minutes, 1 hour a day of playtime meet that balance that you're seeking? Well, you can say that, hey, if I spend 1 hour a day, playing with my kids, that will make me feel that I have a balanced life. I have enough time to give to each of these circles that I have. Then there is time with your spouse. How much connection do you need on a daily basis? What are the things that you do? Couples like going on a date. Some couples need, deep conversations, emotional connection. Figure out yours. Then there's your friends. How often would you like to see your friends that you feel, hey, I have a pretty good life? I get to see my friends on a monthly, weekly, whatnot basis. Then everything else that you have on your list, do the same exercise, right? And at the end of this exercise, you should be able to define what your, again, balance looks like. For example, you can say, you know what? If I work 8 hours a day, and then if I play 30 minutes uninterrupted time with my kids, we do some kind of activity together. My husband and I get to watch TV together for 30 minutes, or we have dinner together, and so on and so forth. You will build your own idea of balance. And in this case, balance means that, you know what, I am enjoying my life. I am satisfied with my life. The thing is, something that you need to keep in mind is that balance is not something that achieved within the 24 hours, right? Because life is such that every day brings new challenges, and some days you might not meet your idea of a balanced life, or you know what, today I just have 15 minutes to play with my kid, and that's what we're going to do, and I have to work extra late today. You know what, that is okay. You communicate that to your child, hey, mama has 15 minutes to play, but I really want to do something fun with you, and later on the weekend or name another day, we can play more. Or let's say your house is getting messy, you don't have the time to clean it up. Tell yourself, you know what, it can wait, because right now my work is just picked up a bit more and I need to give it time. The critical component here is not to make that a habit where again you are sacrificing your balanced approach to life. Our life is not just made up of the 24 hours. It's days and it's weeks and it's months and it's years. And what's important is you reflect upon what is happening, how you feel about your approach to life. And when something changes, maybe something that you don't like, hey, I don't really like that I have been working so much lately. Ask yourself, what can I do to change it? So this brings me to my third point. You're probably asking, well, but how do I do all of that? How do I tell my work that, hey, I'm done working, I've put in my 10 hours, 12 hours? It all starts with boundaries, right? Boundaries, it's like this invisible limits that we do have to set upon our job, our household life, our social connections, everything in life. And it starts slowly. So you have to also tell yourself, hey, I'm working 10 hours today and not a minute more or less. And then that aspect, you're like, okay, I have to prioritize what gets done today, what gets pushed down on my list, and so on and so forth. Manage that component of your life, because I know some people have a hard time with that. But this is a very good exercise where you tell yourself, hey, work is not 100% makeup of my life. There's this all other things. Like as I mentioned earlier, for me is my self-care is non-negotiable. So I go to sleep at the same time every day, because I know if I sacrifice sleep, everything else will take a, what to say, will have a dent in it. So these, recognize your own triggers, recognize the things that are important. And what I personally do is I get up very early in the morning at about 4:30 in order to have my balanced life, to get my exercise, to get, to do everything else that's important for me. And yes, it all requires discipline, it all requires commitment. But the biggest takeaway is it's slow, gradual change. And you, as you build your diagram, as you build your plan and your circles, fine tune it, test it, start building limits, start doing kind of prioritizing one thing or the other, and see how you feel. Do you feel more fulfilled? Do you feel that you're getting more enjoyment out of life? Do you feel there is more than your job? And I know I have been making an emphasis on the job because so many women that come to me with a very similar problem, that they say, my help me, my work is taking over my life and I seem not to be able to find balance. And that's something I work with some women for month at a time, because these true changes, they take a long time to develop, because it's not something that you will wake up tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm ready to go with my new life. It's sort of habits that you have to build, new habits that are designed to help you build the life that you will truly enjoy. And like on a final note, give yourself time, and don't strive to have this balance every single day of your life, because life is not linear and things happen and you have to be able to adjust. And in your ability to manage these building blocks, these components that represent your life, will be the answer to you maintaining that balanced approach, again, that gives you not an equal distribution across everything that you have to manage, but gives you an enjoyment of your life that you're able to maintain long term. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please let me know in the comments how you find balance in your life and what have been life changing for you.